Good evening, Untanglers. Welcome to your first ever challenge in this group. So I'm going to share my screen so that I don't go off on too many tangents and so that you can see what it is I am talking about. So just bear with me. Now, usually when I do this, I have someone in a corner giving me a little thumbs up so they can see it, but hopefully you guys can see it anyway. Ooh. Now, one thing I will tell you about is I'm rubbish with technology, as you've just seen. So apologies in advance. Tech is not my forte whatsoever. I am much more a pen and paper type person. Okay, so today's challenge, we're talking about the objection of time. So you'll say to me, Heather, I do not have enough time to declutter. Like, I don't know where to start. I've got so much to do. I just haven't got the time. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Part of this week, I do need to tell you, we have got some prizes. I can't use the word prizes on Facebook because it shuts me down. So the prizes, very, very quickly this week. Every night this week at 7 o'clock, there will be a new video in this group with a little piece of homework to do. You do your homework, you share your homework onto that day's thread, and you will go into the draw to win a £25 Amazon voucher and an Untangled by Tingle pen. I don't think I've got one to show you. And if you do all the challenges, so all 5 challenges, because one each night, then you will double your raffle tickets into the draw. Okay. Now you've got until Sunday to do any challenge that you want to do. You can do all of them or you can just do one of them. That's absolutely fine. You've got till Sunday to do the challenges, to go into the draw. Obviously, after Sunday, then you can carry on trying to do it if that's what you want to do, because the whole idea of this challenge is to get you thinking about your own thoughts, to change your mindset and make you realize that if you want change to happen, you absolutely can make it happen. I'm not selling anything. I'm not pushing you to buy my one-to-one service. I'm not saying that you need me on Zoom. All I'm saying is this group, there is enough support in this group for you to get where you want to be. Okay. And that's what I like seeing happen. I like people seeing the light at the end of the tunnel and that things can change and celebrating their little wins when things go their way. So that's what this week is all about, giving you a bit of a kickstart in 2022. Okay, so what you're going to tell me is you don't have time. I will tell you do have time. Everybody's got time. This is not one of those Molly May things where everyone's got the same 24 hours in the day, because actually you don't have the same 24 hours in the day. Everybody has different priorities. And what you're saying to me is, when you're saying you don't have time, what you're saying is decluttering is not a priority. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that you are being lazy by saying that, because it might be that you have got a 9-to-5 job. It might be that you actually work 12-hour shifts. It might be that you're a parent, you're looking after elderly relatives. It may be that time-wise and energy-wise, you don't have as much time as other people. It may be that you have got depression, or you've got fibromyalgia, or that your brain doesn't work that way and you struggle to get things done. That's what you're telling me, that the priority is not decluttering. And I'll tell you now, that is fine. It doesn't have to be an absolute priority, because there's always going to be other bits of life getting in the way. What you do need to know is you need to be very clear about why you want to do it and find ways to build it into your everyday. Now, I think anybody can declutter. It will take longer doing it this way, but anybody can declutter their entire home if they do 5-minute sessions a day. So, for example, if you are absolutely collapsing on the sofa at 7 o'clock or half 7, or whatever time Coronation Street comes on, and you get a 2-minute ad break, there is always something you can do during the ad break. So what you're saying to me about priorities is you've got too many priorities and they overtake decluttering. So I want you to start putting decluttering slightly above other things. I'm not saying it's going to be number 1, because it's not, because work, kids, eating, sleeping, collapsing on the sofa, all those kind of things will take priority. Of course they do. But I want you to try and find some time to make it happen. And I'm going to show you how. What I want you to do is to remove the all or nothing thinking. So a lot of people, if you're anything like me, you come from a world of chaos and clutter. We are very black or white thinkers. It's either a full-on project or nothing at all. So what usually happens is we have a project and instead of breaking that project down into little manageable steps, what we do is just see the end result and we just want to get there as quick as possible. So we just go all in. So if, for example, I'm painting a room, what I don't do is I don't move things out of the room. I don't clear the floor. I don't put dust sheets over things. What I do is get full on excited, go to B&Q, buy some paint, come in, don't even change my clothes and just start painting randomly. And then it doesn't happen. It doesn't get finished, or it doesn't get finished right. So what you need to start doing is removing that all or nothing thinking and breaking it down into little things. So instead of the full on thing, so I want to declutter my bedroom, you're not doing that. What you're actually thinking is, what thing can I do in my bedroom that I can do in 5 minutes? So it might be that, for example, there's a load of papers on the side. So your first 5 minutes might be removing the envelopes and flattening all the papers out. That might be challenge 1. Challenge 2 might be having a quick glance through them and see if there's anything that needs actioning. It might be looking through them again another time and see if there's anything that you can binned or shredded. It might be another time where you start to put them into piles of types of thing they are. Or it might be, if you're doing a wardrobe declutter, for example, it might be that you are going to quickly get all your bras together in one place. The next 5 minutes might be looking at all your white bras and seeing if they've gone a little bit too grey and dirty and you want to get rid of them. The one after that might be looking at your really posh bras and deciding which ones you want to keep, and so on and so on. So it's breaking it down into what you can do in 5 minutes. So figure out what your big challenge is. So, for example, I want to declutter my bedroom. And then create smaller 5-minute blocks and find those 5-minute blocks. It might be that your first 5 minutes might be writing down a few things, or either in your diary or on a piece of paper or on your phone, or writing in this group, what you're actually going to do and when you're going to do it. So I'm going to look at all my black t-shirts, or I'm going to get all my black leggings together, and I'm going to do that at 2 p.m. on Friday, because I know that at 2 o'clock I've got a spare half hour, spare 5 minutes, whatever, when I've got time to do that. So I want you to remove the all or nothing thinking, look at the big picture, but then narrow it down and go into little 5-minute slots. You will save time in the long run, but you do have to make time for it first. This is that awful catch-22 where, for example, I'm going to say about batch cooking. So for me, I hate cooking. I used to spend an awful lot of time and money on takeaways because I hated cooking, and I didn't like cooking in my kitchen because my kitchen sides were too cluttered to cook. Whereas now I know that if I have 2 hours or even an hour to put something in the slow cooker, I can leave it, and then I know that evening I've got a hot meal, and for the next 3 evenings I have then got something to eat. So it saves me time in the long run by doing it all at once. So you can batch things. It doesn't have to be cooking. You can batch other things. You look at things like making each minute count. So, for example, while you're waiting on the kettle boiling, while you are finding something to wear in the morning, while you are in the shower, for example, make each minute count. So it might be, for example, while you are brushing your teeth in the morning, you can be looking in your bathroom and thinking, is there any of these shampoos that I don't actually enjoy using that I could maybe get rid of? Or are there any of these shampoos that I could use to clean the bath next time I'm getting out of it? Or could I squeegee the shower next time I'm getting out of it, instead of using it as a job to clean the shower? I don't need to clean the shower. I could just squeegee it as I'm getting out of the shower, for example. And it might be that you will then eventually find systems that you can put into place to make life easier. And what we do by habit stacking is you find something that you do automatically. So in the morning, I always have to have a cup of tea. While I'm waiting for that kettle to boil, I always now have created another habit of emptying my dishwasher, because it doesn't take as long as I think it does. So I empty the dishwasher while I'm making the kettle, while the kettle's boiling. And that means that throughout the day, I can put my dirty pots in the dishwasher, because if I don't ever empty the dishwasher, the pots get cluttered all over the side and the kitchen becomes a bomb site. So look at what kind of habits do you have every day and see if you can add something into that habit that is decluttering, organizing, or cleaning. And think small, tiny, little changes, because they will make the difference. You need to have a plan. I am obsessed by having a plan. It's the autistic person in me. I always have to have a plan. I always have to know where I'm going to go, what's it going to be like. Otherwise I go, oh, I can't do it. And it's the same with decluttering. If you don't have a plan, you will spend a lot of effort and energy not getting very far. And then you will get very demotivated and you will stop. So what I want you to always do is have a plan, even if it is you are planning by room, you are planning by type of item, you are planning about taking time out to decide what you want to achieve and when you're going to do it. You need to always have a start. So for example, I want to start doing my wardrobe. I am going to do each drawer of my wardrobe by category. And that is going to be the middle. Is I'm going to go through, I'm going to start at this category and I'm going to end at this category, and then it'll be done. And my exit plans for these things are, so the type of stuff I'm getting rid of is clothing. They're probably not going to be good enough to take to charity, so I'm going to find a textile bin, or I'm going to go to H&M, for example, and I am going to put them in the dump bin at Meadow Hall. I'm going to put them in a textile bin local to me, or I'm going to bag them up and write rags on them, and I'm going to take them to a charity shop near me on this date. Okay, so always have a start, your action bits of what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, and an exit plan for everything. We will be talking about exit plans later on this week, by the way. I want you to micro categorize everything, or do it by very small area of space. So do half of a drawer, for example, quarter of a drawer if you need to, one shelf, one category of socks. So it might be walking socks, hiking socks, fluffy socks, trainer socks, white socks, black socks, kids socks, whatever you want to do. Always do it by micro category. So think those small little spaces. What are you going to do? And then in preparation for doing it, I want you to get things ready for when you actually do it. So what do you need to get together? If you're going to declutter your socks, for example, what do you need ready to enable you to do that? So you need time, you need distractions removed, you need probably a bag to put them in to get rid of them. You might decide that while you're in there, that you're going to line your drawers, or you're going to dust inside, or you might want a bin nearby to put things in. What do you need to make it happen? And get those things in situ ready. Because first of all, going and finding them is already going to take you the 5 minutes that you've allocated. So you haven't got time to find the stuff first. You've got to put them there first. That might be your first 5 minutes. Is I'm going to put the bin by the bit I'm going to declutter. That's your first 5 minutes done. Your second one might be, I'm going to dust it while I'm doing it. So I'm going to go and get the duster and the spray, and I'm going to put that there as well. It'll do two things. So it means that when you are starting to actually declutter, your stuff's ready. But also it gives you that little visual to remind you, that little nagging thought in the background to go, you need to do this. You can't be having this here unless you actually do it. Okay, so what do you need? Get them ready first. And then what else do you need? You probably need accountability or support, or both, more than likely. Because if you don't have those, you'll put it off and put it off and put it off. We're really good at procrastinating. So if we've got a plan, we've got the things ready, the only other thing left is to hold yourself accountable to make it happen. So you can do that in a couple of ways. You can come into the group and tell us what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. And then later on, we'll go, how'd you get on? Did you do it? And you can show us that you've done it. Just by saying it out loud to somebody, it makes a difference. Diarying it in, putting it in your calendar, in a time and a space, even if you don't write it down, if you put it on an alarm on your phone, if you create a new habit where you say, every time an advert comes on the TV, I'm going to tackle 1 minute of X, 2 minutes of whatever. Create that new habit and tell someone that's what you're going to do. Tell your partner, tell your kids, tell your best friend, tell us, tell somebody. You can buddy up. So you can use Facebook rooms in here for this. So it might be that you all get together at a certain time, a certain date, and you're going to do something for 10 minutes, half an hour, whatever. Laura is really great at this. I hope Laura watches this. Laura will come in here and also in the Declutter home group where she does a 12-minute zoom around like crazy to change a space, and she's brilliant at it. So you could do that as a group thing. You might decide to what you want to do that. Do you need someone to help you? So do you need someone to look after your child for half an hour just so you've got some thinking space? Do you need someone just sitting with you to make it happen? Do you need someone to mirror so someone else does it while you do it as well? Buddy up with someone. This group is a really, really supportive group. If you don't know anybody, it doesn't matter because you soon will. All you need to do is come into the group and say, I need some help. Who wants to buddy up? Who's free at this time? Let's do it. Let's do something. Okay, use this group. That's what it's for. Okay, so I'm going to ask if anybody's got any questions that you pop it in the group on this thread so that people can see my answers. And your homework tonight is to comment in the group what time you have got and when you're going to do it. When are you going to do something? And what is it you're going to do? Bonus points if you get a picture, that'd be great to see your space and what you want to achieve. Make sure it's a 5-minute job. So when have you next got 5 minutes? And what are you going to try and sort in that 5 minutes? And we can always help you break down those little 5-minute slots, because sometimes it can seem overwhelming. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. It can seem overwhelming if you've never done anything like this before. It can seem a big thing. So if you want to have a smaller 5-minute thing, put in the group what your end result is and we will help you find those 5-minute slots. So that is your homework, that is your challenge. Pop in the group on this thread what you're going to do, when you're going to do it. Okay, so that is your first challenge. I hope I have given you lots of food for thought. Okay, have a really good evening. Take care. Bye.